this computer. All right. Well, welcome to our Tech in 10. Mackenzie Sanders, our lone participant who has joined us. We're really thankful you're here. And if anybody else is watching this at a later date, thanks for joining in. So today, the purpose of these is just to give kind of a quick tech tip or to show you how to do something that maybe you didn't know how to do before. And so today we're talking about Google Forms, and we're going to look at just one aspect of it, and that is taking a Google form and making it into a quiz. So to get there, we're going to go to forms.new is one way to get there, but I actually want to show you how to go to kind of like almost like the drive of forms. It has all of your forms located. So if you go to forms.google.com, and Sarah Shipe is guiding us through this today. Forms.google.com will take us and say, oh, she forgot her S. There it is. And it will take you to all the forms that you have. You can see there's templates, recent forms that you've done. You can kind of sort them by who the owner is of them. It's kind of a nice place to go. Other than your Google Drive that has all kinds of files, these are just your forms. So we're going to go to the blank one there that has the colorful plus arrow. Shipe also got there by going to forms.new, and that kind of brings up a blank one as well. The first thing we're going to show you is how to make a question. So the little plus button down there on the right is where you would make a question. So go ahead and click that. One automatically pops up. It's always a good idea to have the first question just be a name. So maybe your name or student name or whatever you want to say there. It'll automatically populate then as a short answer. Then if you scroll down a little bit further, you can see we have another question that already came up. So go ahead and click where it says question, and we're going to make this a multiple choice question. Okay, so I don't know, should I get creative? Think of a fun multiple choice question, any category. What is your favorite day of the week? It's funny, I was kind of thinking that same one. Usually we go with color. And then if you go over to the drop-down menu, you can change that to multiple choice, and then a couple options will pop up. You can then go Monday, hit the tab, or click down below. Ooh, look at that. Google's so smart, it gave you the suggestion to add all, and so it will just go all the way through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through there. So now we have a multiple choice question. So the next thing I want to show you is how to turn this into a quiz. So let's go to the very top, and we didn't title this form. That's one thing we could have showed you there is if you give it a title, we'll just call this a practice quiz. It will automatically, as soon as you click out of that box, you'll see at the top left, it will change it from untitled form to whatever you name the form as well. So that's just a quick little thing there. But we're going to turn this into a quiz by going to the gear box up at the top. You see that Shipe's on, and when we click on that, you'll see one of the tabs across the top says quizzes. So when I click on quizzes, then I can toggle that on to say make this a quiz. And then if you see all the settings down below, we can change it to immediately after submission is already checked. That's a good one to give students feedback right away. If you were doing like kind of open-ended questions and you wanted to kind of fill in or you wanted to kind of grade it later, you could have, you could check that one that says later after manual review, but we'll leave it there. Respondents can see missed questions, correct answers, and point values. Since this is a practice one, we'll just leave all three of those checked as well. All right, so let's go back to our
real quick, Matt, before we go off on this. So if you were giving a kids a quiz and you wanted them to be able to take it multiple times, maybe you want them to see the missed questions and the point values, but you don't necessarily want them to see the correct answer so that they can't do like, oh, I'll just fly through this real quick, get all the answers, and then retake it for 100%. So you could uncheck this one, and so they don't see the correct answer. So if they're really learning to mastery, they can go back and redo it again. They can see what questions they missed and how much they were worth, but they don't know what the correct answer is. And so that's an option you may want to uncheck.
Yep. Great point. So let's click save there at the top right. It says save, and now we have turned this into a quiz. So now if we go to one of these questions, let's go to that multiple choice question. You're going to see some more options there below. So if we click on the answer key right there, then we can assign this a point value. So depending, if you're making a 5-question quiz and you want them to be different point values, you can give this one 2, 3, 4, even 5 points. You can give it as many points as you want. And then we're going to also look at how you can add answer feedback. So down there at the bottom where it says add answer feedback, we could go to incorrect answers or correct answers. So obviously this one doesn't really have a incorrect answer, I guess, unless you put Monday. That would probably
nobody would pick Monday.
Nobody would put Monday. So you can enter feedback in there for each of the different answers. So, oops, try again. Perfect. You can even add remediation by clicking on like the YouTube video. So click on the little video link there. And what you could do is you could find a video. Let's say you were teaching something on fractions and you wanted to have like a little Khan Academy video that would show, students kind of to reinforce what they may have struggled with. So you could find that video and put that in. You would just click on it and then click select. The blue select button will come up, and then it will embed that video if they get the incorrect answer. So that only comes up if it's incorrect. Then we could click on the correct answer and give feedback and say, way to go, yay. Both yay and way to go. Then click save. So then when we go back now, we have to choose which the right answer is because we've given feedback, but we haven't really said which is the correct answer. So then we can choose that here. So we'll say Saturday. That's a good answer. And then anybody who puts Saturday will get the correct way to go. And anybody who doesn't will get a fractions video because that just makes sense, right?
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Comes in days of the week.
All right. So we could add another question then. Let's go to.
I'll click done.
Yep.
So that I know that I'm done with the question.
And then let's go to the plus button to add another question right there on the right. And this time let's do a check boxes. So change multiple choice to check boxes. Okay. And we can do, which are your favorite colors? And then the same idea is going to apply here where we can go below. Stripe will put in a few of them there, but then if she scrolls down, you're going to see again the option to put in that answer key. So you kind of can go back and forth between creating the question, and then if you go to the answer key, that's where you can put in the feedback and what the correct answers are. So the questions we chose obviously are a little different for actually having correct and incorrect answers, but at least you get the idea. All right, that is pretty much everything we wanted to show you. I think we stayed about 10 minutes by the time we got started, so we're staying true to our Tech in 10. And if you have any other questions, always feel free to reach out to your technology coordinator or send us an email. We're happy to answer any questions that you have.
Mackenzie, since you're the only one, do you have any questions for us that we can answer about quizzes?
I don't think so. At first I missed one of your little things, but then I clicked and I found where you got it. So actually, wait, hold on. Let me look at I was trying to kind of do one too.
Yeah.
At the same time to see if I was doing it. Where did you get where'd you get the points part?
When you click on the answer key, it should show up in the top right hand corner.
Yep. Okay.
And that's kind of how you go back and forth between the answer key and creating the question.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in this part where Shipe's in now and you click on like where it says favorite colors or something and try to change the text, you can't really do anything except for mark the correct answer.
Yeah.
So and that's happened to me before where I'm like, I'm trying to change this question, and now you can change the question since you got out of the answer key.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you used forms much, Mackenzie?
I just use it for attendance.
Yeah.
I mean, I do kindergarten, so.
Right. Yeah. And maybe one thing that's kind of cool to show you too, especially for doing kindergarten, is when you're creating the questions then. So if Shipe's on like Monday, if she clicks on that question, And then you can see it has the little add image thing there. So you could actually take pictures. And so for kindergartners, if obviously they're not
Filter
reading
Monday.
yet, you could find a little picture of Monday, or, a lot easier for animals or colors or whatever else
Okay.
you might be doing. But that's kind of nice to add a visual to the questions as well.
And that was on when you're in,
When you're creating the question,
when I'm creating the
yeah, so
question.
you're not in
Okay.
the answer key,
Okay.
then next to, and I think they're not there for like short answers or things like that, but I think for multiple choice check boxes, a lot of the questions that you create have that option to do that.
Okay.
And you can also add images to the questions too. And so if you have, a picture you want them to look at, look at this picture and, tell me what the beginning sound is. If you have a picture of a bike, what does bike begin with? And then you could put your letters down below. And so you can also use the image for the question part and not just the answer part too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And even besides that, over on the right-hand side where we created the questions, you'll see the image and the video there as well. So you don't even have to necessarily have a question associated with it. If you wanted to do kind of like a pre-lesson video to kind of set up what the questions are going to be or whatever, you can kind of add that in. So
And that would
something-
then just probably go like under the question.
yeah, and you can always kind of rearrange the stuff just by clicking and dragging the order around. So some people have used, this with Google Forms almost as like a learning module where they're kind of almost setting their whole lesson up. They have an intro video, then they say, answer a couple questions about the video, and then they go on to, some text that they have the students read.
Okay.
Obviously a little further along for in kindergarten, but you can still do kind of the same idea to kind of walk them through a lesson that you're doing with videos and questions.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
And then once you've created that and given that to them to see the responses, you're just going to go to this responses tab. And so once you click on that and there are some responses, you'll see the answers. But then you can also click this green button, to make your spreadsheet for like you do for attendance, I'm sure. But then that way you can see all the students' responses across the top.
and we'll probably get into more of that stuff in another Tech in 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
right.
Have a great
Have a good
day.
day.
Bye.